life threatening. Stop Chantix and get help right away if you have any of these.
Good evening. Since Halloween, or as the witches call it, Samhain is like right around the corner, I figured I would do a segment on haunted places. And so the first one that I came across was Galveston, Texas. Now, I've been to Galveston, and let me tell you, there are some of the most spookiest places I have been. And one of them was the cemetery. Now, I didn't look up the cemetery, but I did look up. It was, I think, a hotel. There's like a few hotels and one resident home that is haunted there. So I wrote it down, and I am going to be reading to you. All right, it says Galveston, Texas. In the 1900s, Texas was practically disseminated by hurricanes that killed 8,000 people. Some of the victims of the storm reportedly still haunt the Tremont House Hotel, along with murder salesman and a Civil War soldier. Another creepy Galveston property is the Hotel Galvez. Has many resident spirits, with the fifth floor remaining as one of the most haunted parts of spirits in it. And then it says the Murad House, a former private residence, was also the site of quite a few deaths that left lingering spirits. If you're lucky enough to visit during October, you may even get to, I can't even read my own writing. Be part of a seance held there, hosted by a local psychic. So that is that part. Now, so that is a little history about just one area of Texas that is haunted. Now, there is one that is like close by Panhandle, and it's in Amarillo, Texas, that I personally went to on Samhain, and this was like years ago, and it was I think it was called the Paramount Elementary School. And the history goes, so I've been told and I've read, that it was back in the day where, you know, they were incorporating black kids into a white school after, you know, it was like forbidden to do so. So the history is the janitor did not approve of this. And it was said that one day he had taken 4 little boys to the boiler room and he murdered them. Each one seeing the other being murdered. And they said that the janitor was never found. They didn't find him, you know, or anything like that. And so that place is extremely haunted. to say the least. Being a sensitive and a medium, that I figured, okay, I'll go like close to the boiler room and see what I can pick up and what I can sense. I didn't get very close to it without feeling that I was not welcome over there at all. I looked at my friends and I said, we need to go. We're not welcome here. This place, the boiler room is like filled with negativity. It was like your heart racing and you could barely breathe. And I mean, it was horrendous to feel that, because I could feel the pain. I could feel the vibration of it. And I was like, after that, I never went again, because not only did you feel that, but you could hear the echoes and the screams and the cries for help. And it was just so overwhelming. And then, before you get close to the boiler room, you could see the swings swinging, and there was not like a wind in sight. And you could hear giggling. And
we're good. Not a team.
Let's get him into shape.
it was an all experience, to say the least, because excuse me, of just being in the presence of such a tragedy and such horrific things. I mean, it's just like you want to help those kids cross over, but in order to do so, you have to have the right tools, and you have to be strong. And because you're going to face somebody that is not going to allow them to pass and cross through the veil. And I believe the janitor, after doing this, he either ended up dying sometime later, or and just came back. But something was there that or he had killed himself afterwards. But either something was there that was not allowing those children to pass, and it was very much, I don't want to say evil, because most witches don't believe in evil. That's a Christian concept, but it was a malevolence, and it was strong in that boiler room. And at the time, I did not have the stuff I needed to help those children cross. And it broke my heart, because they have been there for so long, and they so deserved to rest in peace.
I'm going in.
And so I was like, that stuck with me for a long time. And I think that was like the catalyst into me being strongly into the craft and helping spirits be able to pass the veil that are stuck here. Because you do have those ones that they want to pass, but they don't know how. And, so it's a very sad thing, because at the time I couldn't do it. And that was the time that I said, okay, I'm going to get knee deep into my craft. And I am going to study and I am going to read up on all that I can and how to be strong enough to face great malevolence like that and be able to help those that need to cross so that they can rest in peace. And then you get the ones that are like, they don't want to cross, or they don't know that they have passed because it was such a tragic ending for them. And so, but, it was like,
Sorry, Heather, that's just a phone booth. Oh.
What were they used for?
I believe that's when I realized exactly what I wanted to do with my craft. I didn't want to be one of these seasonal witches. I didn't want, just to do it
How does this work?
I'll show you.
on the Sabbats or the Sabbats. I wanted to make my whole life incorporated into the craft
What's this?
and learn as much as I can. And let me tell you, I have some of the most amazing mentors. I have one that is a spirit keeper, and I have one that is, she's light, but she's also a gray witch. And
It says he was
It was-
ceremonial vestments.
We sometimes called it a jogging suit.
so strongly on me that
The traffic jams of old New York were a public.
I guess I knew then what I needed to do, what I wanted to be. And, how can you help people if you cannot help those that have crossed or that have not crossed and that are stuck?
We see a 20th century assembly line where cars were constructed
And
by primitive robots.
to me, that is like a major part of who I am. Is because I am so convicted of helping people. My goal, I don't plan on being a lifer at all steps. What I would really, really love to do is either work in a NICU or in a home health care and be able to, even if it's brighten somebody's day, just being there and listening to them and, hearing their stories and just, being in the presence of someone that has lived through so much pain and listening, and even if it is just giving them a hug and helping them with what they need, that is my heart's desire to be able to do that. And I'm going to do that because let me tell you something, I don't have any man in my life saying, oh, well, what about my kids? Well, what about your kids? Because this is my heart's desire. This is my dream. I'm going to make this come true come hell or high water. And I don't have that now. I don't have to worry about a man, telling me, okay, well, you become a nurse or you become this, and who's going to watch my kids? Well, I don't have that now. I can do, when I get my dog back, I can do whatever I want. And I plan on us moving out of Texas and me being in a home health care and making $900 every 2 weeks and having good insurance. Because let's face it, Allsup's insurance is not that very good. So, it's like,
Raise my boat.
stay here
I fell into the ocean, tasting
and
mixed with a thick, rich ink release.
live a minimal life and struggle as to making 300 more than I am now and being able to afford clothes for her, to have a good Christmas for her, to
New Secret Freshies deodorant.
to everything. And that is like what I want to do. And I'm just, there's like,
Here we are. Home sweet home. A house where magic lives.
this, it's just nothing compared to
Okay.
what I am now and what I see myself doing and being and incorporating into my life. This is just a stopping point right now.
A house with a confidence wall.
And that's all it is for me. It's like, okay,
It was love at first sight.
there's a song by Carrie Underwood. It was one of her first songs, and it was a temporary home. And that explains exactly what I am doing now. This is a temporary home,
I'm sorry for what I did to you.
just a stopping point
Have a break.
for now. And once I get, me and my daughter get to where we are going,
I'm a mini blizzard and a
nothing is going to hold me back.
Holy cheeseburgers, it comes with a blizzard.
I am
Here's
going
what
to
people
be
will say,
like,
because I'm not fast food.
I'll be happier
I'm fan food.
because I'm actually doing what I want to do. And therefore, it's like, I got to think of this as, you know, this is a learning experience. This is only temporary. This is not set. I get my daughter back and I'm gone. Just straight up, I'm gone. I'm going to fund a ride to go. We're going to go to Amarillo to get on a bus, and we're heading out. We're going to Wisconsin, and I am going to be with a sister witch who I've known forever and a day, and who is my rock. I mean, yeah, my sister-in-law has been there for me, and she has been my rock. But
No, you're great.
Well, just let me know if there's anything I can do to make it up to you.
Actually, your little stunt did a number on my back. You mind
this
rubbing it
is
for
just
me?
a thing.
Sure. Oh,
I gotta see it as
How's that?
lower.
a learning experience.
A little lower then.
I can't get any lower than this.
I'll say you're rubbing my ass.
And after this, I am done. I'm done with Texas. There is like nothing except for maybe my best friends in Dumas and that have been there for me. And that's it. And I'm just done with Texas. There's nothing but bad memories. You know, nothing is holding me back after I get my daughter. It's going to be like, you know,
There's very little oxygen.
I appreciate what all you done, but as far as staying in Texas, I can't do it. I just can't. I got to distance myself from this state in order to pick myself up, get out of this funk. And the further I am from this state, the better off I'm going to be. I strongly believe that. I mean, this is not where I belong.
Please select erotic transaction.
So
How about a lap dance from a pal here?
it's like Wisconsin bound, here we come, because me and my daughter, that's where we're going to be. We are meant for so much more than what it is.
Get it? It's chlorine.
And
It's funny because it's poison.
I
Yeah,
just.
keep laughing, Brian Shrimp. But
That
you guys
being
do-
said,
Never running an order.
Take a real
Um,
on. He's no worse than Bender.
He's much worse.
though Samhain is my anniversary of my wedding towards my ex,
Oh, I get it. This
I'm
is
not gonna let
cute.
that get me down
You're jealous of
because I
Bender's
have
new
always
friend.
No, I'm not.
loved
Mark my
Samhain.
words.
Samhain was like
Evil.
and still is my favorite time of the year. Is my favorite holiday.
Everyone, report to
I
my
like all the other holidays and whatnot, but Samhain is like
And you'll quickly find out what hardcore fans have long known. This show is
my favorite.
emotionally draining. Bad news, everyone. We're counting down.
The Christians have, their New Year as January. Ours is actually
For
Samhain,
those who aren't trying to cater a Greek family reunion,
and
2%. Arby's, we have the meats.
I was looking for somebody who was serious
Hopefully.
about a relationship, somebody who wanted to find love.
things will be
We ask you questions
better.
about your personality so that we can match you for a real.
And hopefully this thing with CPS will end soon because
Start your own profile and take our
I'm
questionnaire
just-
for free.
I'm not digging them.
Others who have found
I tolerate them.
eHarmony. eHarmony.com.
I'll play their game.
Trusted dating site. Start for free today.
But yep,
San Pellegrino.
I do believe Amarillo has one other haunted place, and I think it's an old hotel that I looked up on YouTube.
Applebee's new 3-course meal starting at $11.99.
But if y'all get a chance,
Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Could your house
There
go into
are
foreclosure? Does it seem
the-
like
the
has no
school
interest in helping you save your home?
in Amarillo
Do you feel like you have nowhere to
is
turn? Then we have good news for you. Homeowner Protection Services.
what do you call
Homeowner
it?
Protection Services
It's on
can help
YouTube.
save your home.
Videos, and there's videos of the haunted hotel in Amarillo. As far as Panhandle, Texas go, I would really have to look up if there is any. This is like my first time to actually live in Panhandle. There are, because their spirits are everywhere and there's always tragedies. Just like in hotels, people die in hotels, people get killed in hotels. I mean, I'm sure that there is some sort of hauntings here.
If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a
If anybody is wanting to know about, the rituals and stuff like that for Samhain,
Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your neck.
there's we do have a dump supper where
Consolidated Credit now.
you make the dinners of your loved ones that have passed away, that have crossed the veil. And because the veil thins through October, and October 31st, it has thinned enough to where your ancestors and the people that have passed before you can come and visit.
Everyone, get in bed with me. I have something to show you.
So, and you make a supper
Feast your eyes.
and you put placements out
It's beautiful.
for your ancestors, and you can even have an ancestral shrine for them. And the way you do that is you have like a picture of them, you have maybe their favorite flower,
Professor, can we discuss this somewhere else?
their favorite drink or something like that. Some people believe that coffee is good for the ancestors. Coffee is also, some people don't realize this, but coffee is also a magical
When I was a little girl on Mars, I dreamed of being Miss Universe.
ingredient. It's said to speed up some of the spells that you do.
Not me.
Really? Maybe
Um,
it's just cute girls.
Due to
I
the
have-
items' tremendous value,
when I was with my ex, I had placed a cup of coffee in my shrine that I had for my spirit family and for my ancestors. And I paid homage, and I would like light an incense, and I would ask for their help, and I would always leave just maybe a little something for them, as an offering. I really couldn't do much because I didn't have much to
So you
work
each
with,
take
but
8-hour shifts guarding the safe. First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry.
spells are always the intention of the witch.
Okay. First Bender,
And
then Flexo, then Fry.
So you always state your
First
intentions.
Bender, then Flexo, then
What
Fry.
kind of workings are you doing in this spell? Like if it's a prosperity spell, if it's, something like that. A great book by one of my favorite witchy authors is The Solitary Witch. It is a thick book, but it has everything you will ever need in that. And the author's name is Silver Ravenwolf. Now, some might not like her, but she is one of my favorite authors. I've tried Buckland, and I just really couldn't get into his books.
I saw you looking at the atom.
So, I look at lots of atoms. Shouldn't you be resting
Let's
up
see
for your
here.
shift?
Oh, you'd like it if I went to sleep, wouldn't you?
And a new author that I've just found here recently
Well, here's a funny joke. I'm gonna sit
is,
here till it's my shift.
can't remember her name, but she does the Everyday Witch.
I will.
Good.
Good.
And I think another one is like The Goddess Within. And those are good books.
That's it.
I have an audible on her.
Solid boredom.
And
I'm kidding. You're a wonderful man.
Scott Cunningham, he was a good author. And let's see here, who else? And then there is the one that is like for the first degree witch. And it's Wicca 1-on-1, a year and a day. Can't miss it. And they also have for like the second degree witch. So there's like 2 good books there. I always, my go-to book when I want to redo my craft is the 1-on-1 in Silver Ravenwolf. And I've had the Green Witchcraft books. I've had the Temple of Craft.
I'm on the pill. I'm on the pill too.
And
But it's not
the one that does hit that one is a good Arthur.
daily prescription medicine for adults.
I've read so many. Let me tell you. I've had the Fairy Stewardship books. The second one, I love that book. And I plan on one of these days getting it back if I have to find it on Audible or on Kindle. I will find that book again and I will buy it.
Before and at least every 3 months while taking Truvada. I wanted to know about all of my prevention options, so I asked my doctor about Truvada for PrEP. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. They may do more tests to confirm you're still HIV negative.
So,
Effects can occur, including kidney problems.
there's like a of books that are good, and
tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have kidney, bone, or liver problems, including hepatitis. If you have hepatitis,
I suggest if you're just starting out on the craft, find you a good mentor. And because that, when I very first started, I didn't have a mentor, and it was so to understand everything. And I was like on my own. And then I got into this group on Facebook a couple of years ago, and that's where I had met my mentor. She has like been there through me, for me, through thick and thin. And
Flexo has stolen the atom. You must have used the sleep ray on me. Sleep ray.
it's because of her that I honed in on my gifts and that I am who I am now. And that I am so strongly convicted in my craft. And
Keep an eye on Fry.
that being,
Rule out the possibility that he did.
the reason I want to be able to help others understand that you're not alone in this craft. And
In my underpants drawer.
word of advice, make sure that you really want to get into this, because once that door is open, that door does not close. And you're opening yourself up to a different realm that is sometimes quite scary, because you are now going to have the gifts that you have that were dormant or innate be opened up, and that opens you to spirits, that opens you up to a whole new can of worms. So it's like, I would compare it to being a carny. A carny is a dying breed, and you have to have a tough exterior in order to be able to make it in that world. The same being said for the craft, because you're going to get so much ridicule and so much, people calling you names, calling you evil, and you have got to overlook that and think, okay, I always tell people, how can I be evil if I do not believe in your Christian concept? If I do not believe in your Christian deities? How can I be a devil worshiper if I do not believe in that concept and that religion? Now, are there people or witches that do bad things? Yes. But that doesn't mean that the craft is evil. That doesn't mean that magic is evil. Magic is neither good or bad. It is neutral. Just like nature. Nature is constructive and destructive.
Well, gentlemen, it appears
So is the magic. The magic is neutral. It is all the intention of the witch. And so many people just don't believe that
the talent competition, performing a traditional gangster rap.
Don't see that. Would you call nature evil? If nature is evil, but yet it helps preserve life because of the rains and storms and everything. It's because of nature that we have our crops. It's because of nature that, we are able to eat. And so therefore, I strongly believe that magic is neither good or bad. It's all how you use it. Are there books out there that are like really bad.
I can explain. It's very bad.
There are some books that I will not even touch that I have seen
That's why I ran into
what it can do
Wait a second.
in the wrong hands of a person.
Bender? I'm shocked.
I've seen it twice,
Well, not that shocked.
and I'm
sorry we
like,
suspected you, Flexo.
that
It's just look
that's
at the
not
beard
for
and
me.
all.
Don't even bother.
Like the Necronomicon.
I put my life on the line to guard
And
Adam, and this is how you
I've
pay?
seen
Well, you can
an
go
ex of
rock
mine
like it.
do spells and come out
No, I'm just kidding.
white as a ghost and pass out.
I'm so
That
confused.
and I'm like, no, you need to quit what you're doing. You're messing with things that you're not supposed to be messing with, and they're letting you know you need to stop because you are not going to like what's going to happen to you. And then I've seen a 19-year-old boy who does not grasp the concept of good and, this is good, this is bad, this is, you do not do this. There's no conscience. And he has opened portals. He has, he tried to bind somebody to him against their will. And I've seen the repercussions of that. It was just horrific. And, it's like,
Wait, what are you people idiots?
that is one book that I do not wish to have in my presence. Not because
And where is it?
of the spells and the rituals that are in it, but what it has fallen into the wrong hands and what I've seen. It's another tool, but tools can be used in the wrong way. And it intensifies the quarrant and the person that is using it. There is a price for everything. Even in the craft, there is a price you pay.
Fry, that's a radiator.
And you have to be careful not to open Pandora's box. And that's another thing that I have seen and that I have heard through spirit is I was living with a friend of mine years ago, and I had a book of shadows, and I had a book that I was doing stuff in, and the girl didn't know what she was doing, and she figured that she didn't have to study, she didn't have to do this, she could just pop right into it and get down. And
Good news, everyone.
she did a spell that backfired completely and opened Pandora's box. And I was in a meditative state,
And Hermes.
and I heard spirit say, "You cannot help this girl."
Hey, Hermes,
And they flat out told me exactly how many years she is going to be going through this and not to intervene.
Wait a second.
Because this was the consequence
You're gonna get us all assimilated.
of
Just act normal and switch
just
your
jumping
direction,
in,
too.
as into reading up on it and learning the ropes and starting from start, which is like meditations and visualizing and everything. She just thought she could just jump right in and everything would be okay. And I had to leave. I had a friend that was a Satanist, and he walked into the room and walked right back out, and he called me out, and he goes, "I will not ever be coming back to this house again." And for a Satanist to say that, that's not good. I mean, because they barely get scared of anything, and this guy was like, "Nope, not having it, not happening.
For only 25 cents less, you can
Um,
get super small.
I'm gone."
Okay.
And he told me exactly how bad it was, and he's like, "Your best bet is to get the fuck out of there because things are going to get worse before they even get better." So I left, and I explained to my friend, I was like, "Look, your roommates opened up
In the universe. Ooh, this is
a can of worms that is going to last for a long time,
This week in the universe.
and I can't be a part of it. And it got so bad that the older guy, and I mean older guy, the boyfriend, I would light up dragon's blood incense, and he hated the smell of dragon's blood. He could not stand to be in the presence of it. That there let me know that he was not good, because it's a banishing and cleansing herb, and I use it quite frequently when I want to cleanse an area. If I cannot get my hands on dragon's blood, I use sage. But now that I learned that just, uplifts the energy and doesn't really banish bad things from Ancestral Witch, she said to use, I do believe it was frankincense. So now my go-to herb for that is going to be frankincense. And I might just get me some dragon's blood and wash it with that too, to make it even stronger. But this pillow is not very comfortable. So I might tomorrow before I go to work, because I have like a certain amount of hours before 10 o'clock p.m. starts up. Might do one where I talk about gems. But what I really want to do, since it is close to Halloween or Samhain, is like do a segment every day on haunted places. Those were just the two that I wrote down for now in my Book of Shadows. Which this is, I'll show you. This is my Book of Shadows. It also has numbers and stuff in it. And all kinds of stuff. But it was supposed to be my Book of Shadows. And it has some magical stuff in it. So, I guess that is it for now. And I hope y'all have a good night and sweet dreams, and may the goddess bless y'all abundantly. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get updates on my videos. And like always, like on the last one, like I said, I am always up for suggestions. Feel free you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Messenger and on Instagram. Tomorrow I probably will be doing a card of the day, because I really got to get into my tarot. And so be looking for that and a couple of other things that might come up. But have a great night. Mwah.